After years of health issues stemming from her breast implants, former NASCAR driver Danica Patrick is opening up about the difficult decision she made earlier this year to remove them. The most successful woman in the history of American car racing tells People that her journey leading up to the procedure was certainly not an easy one.
It was probably about 3 years, symptoms started to kick in, which was like my hair wasn't the same. It was just not growing as much. It wasn't as healthy. I had gained a few pounds and it was really hard I just couldn't seem to lose any. And so it just really was, my hormones. I even thought to myself, I was like, maybe my hormones are off. I just said, dig deeper, Danica, try harder. And so I just worked out more and I ate more, like regimented. I ended up with heavy metal toxicity, dysbiosis, leaky gut, hormone disruption, so low sex hormones and hormones overall, which include DHEA and vitamin D, as well as the sex hormones of progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. So yeah, it was just kind of like my body just finally went, we can't do this anymore.
Danica recalls how she knew something was wrong both during and after her racing career.
I had one thing where if I put my arm behind my back, even when I was racing, I remember this because we do the national anthem and it'd usually be right hand on chest. And I remember doing it different and like just doing this just to see how it felt. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even get my arm behind my back. And I remember saying every now and again, like, I wonder if my implants are playing any role in this. My implants were so tight. It was just one at first that had hardened. And I was like, oh no. And it was early. I had just finished my career in racing. And so I thought, maybe I crashed and maybe it's ruptured and it's leaking and my body's fighting that. And I had an MRI and everything was fine. And then, so I just kind of let it go and then the other one did the same thing. And it's not like you can tell every day. It's just like all of a sudden it's different and you're like, oh, that happened. And so really that should have been a sign, and was, that my body was fighting it.
Danica's removal procedure happened this past April of 2022, and the racing legend says she saw some results within hours of the surgery.
I got them out, and that night I, for the first time, felt like oil on my face for the first time, which is explaining why my scalp was dry, my skin was dry, my hair wasn't the same. And then by the next morning, 12, 14 hours later, I was pacing the kitchen with my drains in going, I just have a lot of energy. Let's go grocery shopping. And so, and I got the drains out after 48 hours. My mom was taking care of me, and her and I like had a bottle of wine and played Monopoly. For a week, it was like every day was better. My face like literally shrunk every day, and I had pictures to prove it. And I'm still detoxing from heavy metals, and my gut seems much better and has healed a lot, which is definitely a big side effect of the implants. A lot of times is people with gut issues. And my hormones are coming back up again, so they're endocrine disruptors. So those things are getting better.
Danica's advice for those who may also be suffering from breast implant illness: the NASCAR star says she turned to other women on social media.
I probably watched 100 different women's stories on YouTube and then through Instagram and social media. It's through that I was then able to like have resonance with the stories and the words that they said. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me. And so I tell anyone, actually, I just had a message this morning from a friend that I went to high school with, and she's, it was like, I don't talk to her all the time, but she sent a message. She's like, I have a friend who has some issues. How do you know if it's BII? And I'm like, first thing is intuition. Second thing, watch the stories. And third thing, there is no test. You have to do it and just see how you feel.
Danica has proven that she is an unstoppable fighter and competitor, and she doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon.
One of the things that I just won't give into is age. I just won't. I take better care of myself now than I ever have. There's more resources now than there ever has been in modern day history. And so I don't buy into the age thing. There will probably be a certain day where my conscience and intuition will be like, okay, Danica, you're 70. It's okay to say you're getting older, but the time is not now.
For more on Danica Patrick, pick up this week's issue of People on Newsstands Friday.